Keith.
Everybody hear me anyway? Now we're going to call it to order. We need roll call. Starting with Susan. Roll call.
Here. Present.
Doug?
Yeah, Doug Morton, present. Rick Scholl, present.
John Walsh, present.
Ginny, present.
All right. Keith Locke, present, here. Good to hear everybody.
Because we haven't spent
Look
any
at
time
that.
together today.
That's right.
So we're going to need to approve the minutes of January 17th. Everybody had a chance to look at those, make sure they're great.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second to approve the minutes of January 17th, 2018. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Don't hear anything. Sounds good. So, okay. We need to, I keep losing my spot here. Any public comment? Come on up, Mark.
Mark Kreitzer, 59420 Meadowview Drive in St. Helens. It's not a comment in terms of the Urban Renewal Agency budget, and if I'm out of order, let me know, and I will go back to my seat. Just have a comment about the Urban Renewal.
We got time.
You've heard me speak before. I'm concerned about the Urban Renewal Board being made up of the City Council, and I've stated before that I believe that the Urban Renewal Board should be made up of members of special districts and of the citizens, the ones that are funding urban renewal, and especially special districts, because from the standpoint of the fire district, we're expected to maintain a level of service, and our funding maintains that level of service. And when we lose part of our funding, our citizens are not going to say, oh, it's okay, it goes to urban renewal. Our level of service can go down or maintain the same. So I believe that the Urban Renewal Board should be made up of not only members of the City Council, but also of special districts and the citizens that we all serve. Thank you.
I have a comment that might, I know on the urban renewal, what's put out there on paper actually the money has to go to those, the list of things on that urban renewal by law. So if we wanted to break out and probably buy something for a special district, it's against the law.
I understand that.
Okay.
I just think if members of special districts and the public were on the Urban Renewal Board, there would be less issues of
Yep.
what the
Yeah.
money was spent on. So that's
I don't think your comments are falling on deaf ears. I think what the formation of this was back in 2008, and it's just kind of rolling over, and we're in its infancy stage right here, where we're building up the capacity for the district to, or the agency to do
Be able to do
meaningful and prioritize decisions. And then when we get to start spending money, or I think that's probably the more appropriate time to change it.
How big a board could you do on it?
It's all over the spectrum, really. If we're modeling after other communities,
Yeah.
some keep it pretty tight, and others are just, they have one council member on the thing, and so it's
Oh, really?
a pretty broad
Okay.
range. So.
Yeah.
anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you showing up, Mark.
Mark, what if there was like a liaison from each district that attended the meetings?
A liaison is sort of like public comment. I don't know if they
Yeah.
have an actual impact on how the urban
No.
I've seen this. I've seen this council change its mind many a times when people come up and talk.
Again, those are just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mark, got a question, if it's okay. Everyone else is asking, so I thought I might ask one. What do you foresee in terms of the makeup of the Urban Renewal Council? I mean, you're suggesting that you would like to see more individuals. What are you proposing?
It's up to the city council to make those decisions, but I just think it would be in the best interest of the special districts and the public that those special districts and the public be on the board. And I think you mentioned the last time I was in here that, like a budget committee, a 5 and 5. And I think that's a pretty good idea, 5 members from the city council and 5 members from outside the city council that are part of the Urban Renewal Board. I think that's a good idea. And again, it's the city council's decision to make up who's on that. And whether they want to have all public or all special districts or a makeup, that's your decision. I'd just like to see you take into consideration making it more open to, the special districts and the public, because that's where their money's going.
I was curious, and I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't disagree with that because a lot of times most people don't know what goes on in here, and by the time it gets out there, it's spun around in so many ways. So the more people we have in here that know what's going on, the better the story is outside. So yeah,
Been there, done that.
yeah.
I believe you have.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Patrick.
Patrick Berkeley, 254 South 14th. I was conflicted about whether or not I should keep my tie on. I was at a public forum regarding our transport plan, and I think I was accused of being a plant by a fellow audience person.
That's true.
Mark's raised.
I had a tie, and but this is what I work with. I came from school when I was okay, but, so at least I loosened the tie. So no, I think I would first of all like to echo what Mark said, to encourage expanding the makeup of the Urban Renewal Agency Board, and actually Keith kind of segued into that too, because the issues I have do have to do with communication with the community at large, so that given human nature, to take a little bit of information out of context and then to run with it and make conclusions that aren't necessarily so, just to encourage you to do as much as you can, not only to include broader representation of folks, not just here giving testimony, but actually making part of the decision-making body. But I would also like to say I'm finally glad that we do have this. I recall coming to some meetings when the agency was being put together and some of the initial presentations about it, and then there seemed to be a long silence. Didn't hear anything. I remember, and I don't think it was until notice was sent out about the hearing that was held, was that last month? You had a budget meeting last month or in July, I believe there was the first notice sent out. And I think, oh, okay, something is happening. Few difficulties I encountered. I think one who was pretty tries to keep on top of things that are happening in the city and pretty savvy about navigating my way around the city website. I had a tough time finding information about the agency on the website. That when I was going to boards and committees and that type of thing, the other standing committees came up. I had a difficult time finding this. And I don't know exactly why that was, if I just wasn't going the right way, or if just things haven't been set up on the city website in a user-friendly manner. So I would just, I guess, have somebody, checking into that, so that somebody, when they type in, URA or Urban Renewal Agency, can more directly go to find the information they're looking for. And I think part of that is I was concerned when I did see that, when I was reading about the hearing and then looking at some documentation regarding Oregon revised statutes, and seeing that there were things like, this budget was supposed to have been in place, as I understand it, by June 30th, just as the city budget was, that there's supposed to be hearings. I wasn't aware of any hearings by a budget committee. I think I did do some emailing with Matt or with others to find out that it seems that those were woven into the city, the budget meetings. But I think that can create issues because, again, it's a good word, transparency. If people think things aren't out and open and in the clear, I do believe people are going to wonder what's going on, why, who's doing what, who wants to keep things secret. And I'm not saying that anyone is intending to do that, but we are on the cusp here in St. Helens. I've been here 26 years wondering when this city's going to change. I am not one of those who is opposed to this city becoming flowering, what it really can be. But I do know there are members of our community who are dead set against any kind of development on the riverfront. They want a park. That's all they want. They want, okay, I'm not, and I think there's a lot of people in between. So that everything you can do, especially with this budget process, make sure you're getting out as much information as you can, as much as possible, by whatever means, and frequent, not intermittent. So anyway, I don't have much to say per se on the budget. I understand that basically, again, it's kind of contingency, and we're just getting off the ground. But since this is going to be tied with everything else, just encourage you to do everything you can to engage the broader community and get ahead of the curve with the information you're presenting. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
So I'm just going to say that isn't just on urban renewal. That's on everything we do at the city.
Yeah.
That's for my next
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
We have been so busy the last 2 years that we just, we think, oh, we'll put that off. And it's hurting us because we don't let people know what we're doing and whatnot. Because all they hear about are the things that we're doing wrong or not doing or whatever. Yeah. So, thank you. Okay. Got an action item here. We got a resolution.
Oh, more.
Oh, we got more public. Okay. I'm sorry.
For urban renewal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shauna Harrison, 206 North Vernonia Road. I just want to say that it would be really, really great for you guys to take our current position and really use this as a great place for you guys to get exactly, I mean, I wasn't going to come up here because I'm pretty much sharing the same sentiment that both of the gentlemen before me shared. But I can't encourage you enough to be able to make a good standard with this to help everybody in the long run in regards to having the transparency and having the information and the information age. As far as the website, I find your website pretty easy to get once I figured it out. I didn't really know, but Crystal spent some time and showed me exactly where I could find the minutes and the agendas and everything. Once you kind of figure it out, it's really pretty, I mean, I didn't find this out, but that's okay. I mean, it was right underneath the agendas, but you can click on the little link right to the right of it, and it's right there. But just trying to implore you guys to bring in, I mean, a lot of other places that have their urban rural agencies, they are bringing in people like from their parks and recreation. They've got different liaisons like Tualatin Hills and and Estacada even, which is a smaller town. But I don't know. I know that it's always been kind of a little bone of contention. It feels like with the swim pool, but things like that, finding other, making them part of your guys's of your panel. I mean, I think that that's going to be super important to be bringing in people, local city people. But that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any more public comment? Okay, so now we'll go on to action item, resolution UR 003. Any discussion on this?
You want to have the finance director give a quick overview, or?
Probably say it just as, if not better than me. So the budget that you have before you went to the budget committee last month, and is to be approved tonight, and then pending tonight's approval will be sent over to the county and the state for their official kind of stamp of approval. We received a notification a couple months ago from the county that said they were getting ready to estimate all the real taxes and get that going, and notified us that they had not received anything from the state as far as our budget document. And that's when we realized that we missed a step in not officially approving a budget for the urban renewal, because we didn't think we needed to the first year, because we were just getting started. Our understanding was that funds were going to be held, and then we could collect those funds later on down the road. We found out that was not the case, and we got approval from the county assessor as well as the state office that we were okay as long as we got this passed as soon as possible. So we did meet all the requirements for public notifications for the budget committee and this meeting as well. So we've met all those requirements, and they have given their approvals to say, as soon as this is approved, they'll get their stamp and everything will be good, and we can start collecting the tax increment that is here before you. And the budget is showing about $190,000. I'm putting that all in contingency because we don't have any initial plans right now to spend any of this initial money, but having it in contingency has it available just in case anything does come up in this next year. I think that covers pretty much it, unless John wants to add anything.
No, it's just a matter, the decision is whether we collect it or postpone it a year. Is really
Correct.
This
Yes.
purpose of this meeting is for just that. So. And it's absolutely staff's recommendation that we collect it earlier to build the increment. So.
Is there any other information that we need to talk about and release to our public here that make sure we're complying with all of our rules and regulations? Good.
The only real requirement is the public notice requirements for having the meeting and the public hearing, and we've met those requirements.
I make a motion that we adopt the 2017-18 urban renewal budget as proposed.
Second?
Do we need that, or do we need a resolution?
It's moved to approve the resolution UR 003.
Okay.
Yeah.
I move we approve resolution UR 003 as proposed.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution number UR 003. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it's unanimous.
For the record, do you want to take Susan's motion off the
was wondering about
table
that.
and the second? Or
It was
I
Rick's
mean,
motion,
not-
my
not-
second.
not- I mean, Rick's motion.
Oh, the first motion? Well,
Yeah.
For the record?
for the record, okay, we removed the first motion then, after he amended it. So, before, okay.
You know how to use that gavel? I gotta pee. I'm going. Sorry.
You didn't adjourn yet.
We don't have an administrative report yet.
If,
Do we need a report?
if you'd like a report, really the purpose of it, for fear of just being redundant about what we talked about the last meeting, is that the agency is in its infancy. It's in a build-up phase. We have a lot of good, well-polished plans on the books. There's a lot of priorities established within those plans. There'll be some refining as we move forward, perhaps looking at a different configuration of the agency itself, its meetings, and how addresses those priorities. But really, the purpose of this meeting is to establish the budget increment, or the budget for the agency, so we collect those revenues.
And so, since I'm not supposed to make motions, what I'd like is a motion that we put all this information out on our website, our Facebook page, let the radio know, let the newspapers know, so that everybody has a chance to look at everything we have in our budget and everything, so that we're letting people know what we have out there. So, somebody like to do that?
Okay, Crystal, that information. So moved as suggested.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to get our communications officer and to get all this information out to the community as directed by our community. So, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Okay,
Whoa,
now we're adjourned. Well, what? Oh, you got more?
it's all right.
While we're here, I Googled St. Helens Urban Renewal Agency, and it just, there's a list of every meeting, every pictures and